Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Quest for Knowledge. Today we are going to discuss an important 6 marks, which is classification of expenditure. So expenditure is of two types. One is revenue expenditure and one is capital expenditure. Revenue expenditure is incurred for purposes. It does not create any kind of physical or financial asset by central government. Such kind of expenditure is called as revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure is that it results in creation of physical and financial asset by the central government. It can be land, it can be building, it can be acquiring of business, it can be anything. So it is acquiring or result into the creation of financial asset, and physical asset is called as capital expenditure. Here it is incurred for purposes, but it will not create any kind of financial and physical assets. So here example of revenue expenditure is grants, subsidy, interest pay, etc. So the example for the capital expenditure is asset like land, building, etc. So now revenue expenditure is again divided into two. One is planned revenue expenditure, second is non-planned revenue expenditure. So what is planned revenue expenditure? It relates to central plan and it try to give any kind of aid and assistance to union and state government. So that is planned revenue expenditure. Non-planned revenue expenditure covers the range of social, economic, general service of government. Example, subsidy, salary, etc. Okay, again now planned capital expenditure relate to again plan and assistance to state and union territory. Non-planned capital expenditure covers again general, economic, social services of government. I hope you are able to understand classification of expenditure is of revenue and capital expenditure. So revenue expenditure which does not create any kind of physical and financial asset, and it is an example of grants, interest pay, etc. Capital expenditure which results in the creation of physical and financial asset, example land and building. Now here we have planned revenue expenditure and non-planned revenue expenditure. Planned revenue expenditure is kind of an assistance given to state and union territory, and non-planned revenue expenditure covers the range of social, economic and general service of government. Example, subsidy, salary, etc. Now again, planned capital expenditure again relates to plan and assistance to state and territory. Non-planned capital expenditure covers financial, general, social service of government. Okay, then now let's move on to the next question. Today we are going to discuss very important 6 marks which has been asked repeatedly in the economics previous year question paper. The question is write a short note on balance of payment. So I have made it very easy for you to understand so that you can get easily 6 marks by writing same as it is or in a paragraph manner. So it is difference between value of goods and services imported and value of goods and services exported. So that difference is called as balance of payment. So for a balance of payment we have to maintain 3 accounts. One is current account, capital account and official reserve account. First we'll discuss what is current account. Current account, it deals with export and import of goods and services and transfer payments. Trade of export and import, it is account of transaction related to goods and services and its value. So first of all, it deals with export and import of goods and services and their transfer payments. So first of all, it deals with the trade of export and import. So it deals with the account of transaction related to goods and services and its value. And after that, it deals with the services offered or received from foreign country. Example like banking, insurance, tourism, etc. So transfer payments is payment made or received by foreign countries or to foreign countries, like financial aids, welfare programs, charity, etc. Okay, so in current account we deal with export and import of goods, so that we have to maintain account which deals with the transactions of related to goods and services. And then we have to maintain a service account where how many of the services are rendered, received and offered. Okay, example like banking, insurance. And then transfer payments are the payments which is done to foreign country or done by foreign country, example financial aid, welfare program, etc. Okay, now capital account, we have two kind of capital account. Capital account deals with all kind of debts and claims, okay, like borrowing, loan. So it can be receivable of loan which is being borrowed, or any kind of investment, or we need to pay for the loan which we have borrowed, or any kind of investment we have taken to which we have to pay to them. Here we are going to receive, here we need to pay. So when you add these accounts, we'll have capital account. Okay, after that we have a official reserve account. If country receive any excess of foreign exchange, it is kept as a reserve. It can be kept in the form of gold, it can be kept in the form of currency, SDR, etc. Okay, so the conclusion is the balance of payment give entire picture of foreign trade of goods and services. Okay, the thing is that balance of payment is nothing but the difference between the value of goods and services exported with the value of goods and services imported. There should be a balance. We have to maintain three accounts. One is current account, capital account, official reserve account. In current account, we deal with the export and import, so that we have to maintain account which deals with first, we have to maintain an account which deals with the transaction related to goods and services done. Second, we have to maintain an account for all the services rendered and offered. And then transfer payment is like any kind of a donation, financial aid given by countries or to other country. Capital account, it is a receipt and payment of borrowings, loans and investment. Official reserve is if you have any kind of a excess foreign exchange, that you will keep it as reserve in the form of gold, currency or SDR. So the conclusion is that it gives you an entire picture of foreign trade. Okay, so that is it. I hope this video is surely going to be beneficial for you to write your 6 marks. We are going to discuss a very important 6 marks, which is the law of diminishing marginal utility. According to this law of diminishing marginal utility, as consumer increase the consumption of one commodity and keeping other things equal, to which marginal utility decreases. So assumptions are utility can be measured. Utility has to be measured in numbers. It should be in continuous consumption. No time gap is allowed. The taste, preference and price, income are constant. Now let's move on and understand the explanation of the law. The law can be explained better with the help of a college girl. She comes from college and she was thirsty. She drinks one glass of water which gives her great utility and takes second. Which gives her lesser utility. Third glass, and by continuous consumption, the total utility increases, but marginal utility falls, turn to zero and becomes negative. So that we can show it with the help of a table. So the first glass, when she drinks the first glass, it gives her total utility is 12, so that the marginal utility. When she drinks the second glass, the total utility increases but the marginal utility declines. The third glass of water gives her 25th of total utility, but the marginal utility is more reduced now. In the fourth glass of water, the total utility is increased and moved on to the saturation point, and here the marginal utility has become zero. And in the fifth glass of water, the total utility also falls to 28, while marginal utility has become negative. So the same table we have to represent it in a graphical manner. The total utility increases and moves to a saturation point and it starts to fall. The marginal utility is initially high, but it starts to decline, becomes zero and turns negative. Okay, so the above table represent the more and more you want, the less and less you want to have it. The more and more you consume, the less and less you will diminish, the utility will get diminished. The first glass, the same explanation we have to give, the explanation of the diagram. The first glass gives total utility of 12 and 12 mu. That is marginal utility. The second class where total utility increases but the marginal utility decreases. So likewise you have to write that the total utility increases, moves to a saturation point and start to fall, while marginal utility turns zero and becomes negative. So that is what, if you write this much is also is sufficient. If whatever you have understood and based on to that if you write, surely you will get good marks. Here the diagram is most important along with table. You can write imaginary figures as well. Okay, it is not that you have to write everything as it is. You can write your imaginary figure, but it should be as per the concept. Okay, the utility must be increasing, but the marginal utility should be decreasing, should turn to zero and should become negative. I hope this video helps, and thank you so much for watching. So now we are going to discuss another important 6 marks, which is the law of variable proportion. Here the relationship between fixed and variable input in one hand and the output on the other hand. The law of variable proportion is keeping one input fixed and other input variable for production. So the law of variable proportion gets changed with every addition of one variable input. Okay, so as we see, we here are going to keep on changing one input which makes an effect on our output. Okay, so that is what, as the labor increases, the total product also increases to a point. Here now the efficiency of the labor is being reduced. As the efficiency of the labor is reduced, similarly the average product is also reduced. So when one labor was there, he was able to bring the output of 10. When two labor was there, they were able to bring the output of 12. When three labors was there, they were able to bring the output of 13. When 4 labors are there, they are able to bring the output of 12. Again, it means the 2 people, what they produced, the same the 4 people are now producing. It means the effectivity, the efficiency of increasing input is being completely reduced. It means the law of proportion has changed, so that the efficiency also decreases. When the efficiency decreases, even the marginal productivity of the labor also falls, turns to negative. Same here, we need to write it in the help. The total product keeps on increasing, moves to a saturation point and start to fall. AP increases. First of all, in the initial AP increases and then it start to fall. When AP is increasing, MP increases more than AP. When AP is falling, MP falls more than AP. So this is the shape of law of variable proportion. As the one variable input increases, total product increases as output increases, and after a saturation point it start to fall. MP increases when AP increases, and when AP decreases, MP decreases more than AP. When labor is 1, then TP increases to 10. So MP and AP. When labor increases to 2, TP increases to 24, MP also increases to 14 and AP also increases to 12. When labor input is increased to 4, then TP increases to 50 but MP falls to 10 and AP also start to fall to 12.5. It means with more additional worker or with more additional input, the efficiency decreases because the proportion changes. Production process become more crowded and output produced by additional worker will be less. So MP falls. So this is called as the law of variable proportion. With every increase of one input and keeping the other input constant, the proportion changes, the proportion varies, to which it is called as law of variable proportion. I hope this video helps. If you found this video helpful, do like, share and subscribe and comment in the comment box, and do support to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.